So chances are, if you own a car in New York City, that you've probably gotten your fair share of parking tickets.
Maybe Inez and I can, we don't live in the city, but maybe we could
Talk
relate
about
here.
getting shares.
Yeah, a new study reveals where you live could determine how likely you are to be ticketed. Here with more on these findings, Shane Leese. He's a data scientist with RentHop. That's the group behind the study. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I certainly have gotten my fair share of tickets.
As late as Friday night.
As late as
no.
I didn't mean to throw you under the bus like that.
There we go.
Saturday morning, maybe.
But I find that I get the most tickets uptown.
Oh, really?
Is that in line with some of the studies that you, the data that you found?
Most of Manhattan is just a bad place to park. If you are a household in Manhattan, you're likely to average over 10 parking tickets per year. Uptown's a little better than, like, you know, Times Square or, like, you know, Tribeca, but it's still really, like, it's not a good place to have a car.
Well, all right, true story. When I moved here from Chicago almost 7 years ago, I got 3 tickets in like 1 week because I couldn't figure out the opposite side of the street parking thing, and I was always getting right. I was living in Harlem at the time, you know, before I moved, but I could never understand the opposite side of the street parking, which trips up a lot of people who are just moving to New York.
I moved from Chicago 6 years ago. I had a car for like the first year that I was here. I was like, nope, I'm done. It's not worth it.
So let's talk about places that are bad and places that might be good. So I admittedly get the most in the Upper East Side.
Yeah.
Am I alone?
No.
Oh, okay.
Upper East Side, 2 years running now, has gotten the most tickets out of any neighborhood. So.
Why is that? Do we know?
There's a lot of cars. There's a lot of people with cars. It's hard to really say, though.
Okay.
Well, even what about these apps now that are supposed to help you find like the best parking spots and, you know, these areas to go? Do you support those? You think those are working or not so much?
I personally don't use them, but my roommate used it, and sometimes they're not all that reliable. You got to wait for them to bring your car to you, or, you know.
Yeah.
There's that.
Okay, so the Upper East Side was pretty bad. Other densely populated areas, like downtown, like maybe Tribeca area, how did they do?
They are getting worse, actually, from last year. So the city overall actually was down 15%, that's huge. That's like millions, but Tribeca maintained about the same amount as they got last year, which makes them actually, you know, it actually would look like an uptick.
So if you want to park somewhere, where do you go? What do you do?
Staten Island.
Well, that doesn't help if you...
For others where Staten Island is not an option, you know, like, all right, so you said you just moved to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Talk about Brooklyn a little bit.
Brooklyn's not as bad. Averaging about 4 tickets per year for a household with a car. You know, it's reasonable. It's a lot cheaper than, you know, a garage monthly, you know, but it's... you know, Bronx, Brooklyn, the further east you go, out into the Bronx and Queens, it's actually not too hard to find parking.
Yeah, at either $65 or $115 a pop.
Yeah, it's even more expensive in Lower Manhattan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right.
What's your website, Shane, where people can find you?
www.renthop.com.
All right, Shane Leese, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
To see you.
Great to meet you guys.
So, all that time you've been spending on social media, well, we're finding out it actually could be hazardous to your health.
This is